Good morning. At least I think it's a good morning. It is time to skip the BS, time for Undisputed, time to get Michael Irvin's and Keyshawn Johnson's reaction to my latest takeaway on the Dallas Cowboys, which is they got exposed at Buffalo, even as they backed into a playoff berth. I'm sorry, no longer can I see my Dallas Cowboys as a bona fide Super Bowl contender. In fact, I see them reeling from the Buffalo debacle into losing Sunday at Miami, then losing to Detroit at home, at home, and losing at Washington to end the regular season because they'll be licking their wounds and resting their starters for a playoff game that I hope will be at Tampa Bay, where, by the way, they did send Tom Brady into retirement in last year's wild card playoff round. I give them a pretty good shot of beating Baker Mayfield and the Bucs in Tampa, if in fact Baker and the Bucs can figure out how to win the NFC South. But I believe the Cowboys will lose at Miami because the Cowboys' most valuable run stopper, Jonathan Hankins, is almost certainly out again Sunday with a high ankle sprain. And by the way, the Dolphins lead the NFL with 5.1 yards per run. Then here come the Detroit Lions, who very quietly have the NFL's second best rushing attack, with Jahmyr Gibbs emerging as an even more explosive back than James Cook was against our Cowboys last Sunday. Jerry World could become Scary World. I see the Lions will halt the Cowboys' 15-game home winning streak. I see the Cowboys are in the midst of losing their final 4 games. Not exactly how you want to stumble backward into the playoffs. But, Michael, you know this team. You're a Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer. Would you please tell me I'm wrong?
Man, back up off that ledge. Come on back.
Thank you.
You've been spending too much time over here with this fella.
Yeah, he's got me. He has polluted
to you.
He's polluted my psyche.
Polluted you, which is diluting your love for the star here. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you here. And it's so funny. Before we got ready to come on, I remember watching Russell Wilson. Let's ride. And then they started losing. It was, let's ride. Then it was, let's ride. You could barely hear it. Before we came on, me and Skip had this little here we go thing going.
Yeah, we did.
Today, Skip said, here we go. It was real, like it was almost, I could barely hear the inaudible. Here we go.
It was kind of like it was inaudible during the game Sunday. Keyshawn, by the way, thinks that they went silent count, so you couldn't hear it.
They literally went silent.
Yeah, like real silent. Like deadly silent. Yeah.
But let me tell you why we still have a fight in this, a chance at this. You look at right now in the NFC.
Chance said what?
A chance at getting to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean a chance?
No, you just said a chance. I didn't know what you meant.
This, not just the whole.
I thought you meant like
the bottom line is to get to the Super Bowl. Okay. So that means finish out the season, get in the playoffs, play well, and get to a Super Bowl, and you still have a chance at that. Miami is a scary game, Skip. That's the game on board right now. It's a scary game. Miami's understanding right now what it's like when you're playing the Cowboys. I'm hearing these guys even chirp back at the media. Mike McDaniels just told everybody to tell the media, some bad words.
That's what he said.
With all due respect, bad words. He said, just get off, leave us alone, because now you're dealing with it. And that's what it is in Dallas. There's been, when it goes well, there's a high, everybody thinks Dallas is the best in the world. When it goes poorly, everybody thinks they're the worst in the world. And the Cowboys, the problem is the players don't know how to mitigate all of that. They don't know how to mitigate it. They don't know how to come back to just saying, I'm not listening to any of that mess out here. I just got to take care of our business. And that's what have you wondering, Skip. These guys, you're like, come on, dudes. Let's focus on what we're having right here at hand. Let's not worry about what everybody's saying. Let's worry about what's going on the football field. And I have issues with that, too. But the whole league, there's no dominant team that will take out the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, San Fran is good, but that's the only one team. And boy, if somehow, some way, and I ain't lying, I've been praying somehow, some way, if we can get somebody to go knock off San Fran and we go knock off Philly because they got to stay in bounds, we were that close to knocking off Philly.
Stay in bounds.
That's why I hold on to some hope here. You can go to Philly and beat Philly. I'm still worried about going to San Francisco and beat San Francisco. No way Detroit comes in to Dallas, Skip, and beat the Dallas Cowboys because they have made that commitment to themselves beyond what we talk about here. You heard that. You heard the guy say, we know what goes on here. We have that home winning streak. We will not let that get away. So I like that. I don't think it's time to give up, Skip. I know you got some disappointment, but there's a lot of hope still left in this bag, buddy, and we got a shot right now to get it. San Fran's the only team right now, the only team in the National Football League that worries me when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and I said only.
You mean in the NFC?
No, I said the only team in the National Football League that worries me with the Dallas Cowboys right now is the San Francisco 49ers.
So you don't worry about going down to Miami and playing Miami, even though...
No, they got concern. I got concerns about this game because I know they got this running back in this running game. And it's not just the talent they got. It's the talent they have at coaching. Here's the issue I'm looking at now. Mike McDaniels, who come from the same thing Kyle Shanahan does.
So you mean the same Mike McDaniels from 2 years ago that went into Dallas and ran the football very effective and very effective. Well as the run game coordinator. But go ahead, Michael.
And not only that, what they do is they design such great plays. You see everybody running wide open, scot-free. That's exactly what hurts the Dallas Cowboys. They get lost in eye candy. Yeah. And Miami's going to give them a lot of eye candy. It'll be a test. But what I do know is that offense to show up better than it showed up in the storm last week in Buffalo. Yep. So now, remember last week I had them 38-35. I think there'll be a better battle closer to those numbers now. They didn't score
anywhere near.
Right.
Okay, I just want to make that clear to you.
We all know the results. We already know the results.
I don't know that the Cowboys will lose 3 straight. I think they lose 1 of the 3. I think they lose to Miami. Given the fact that you had even though it's practice is Wednesday is an important day throughout the week. That's the start of the week preparation of game. So you have 4 of your starters on defense not practice at all.
But I only care about 1.
Whether they're rested or knee problems, ankle problems.
A lot of rest. Stephon Gilmore's rest. Malik Hooker is rest. Jordan Lewis is rest.
That's right.
Jonathan Hankins is out.
Tyreek Hill rested too yesterday. So whatever, it works both sides, right? Tyreek Hill rested, too, for Miami. So that means he's not going to play?
That's not what... See, I ain't even got to Tyreek Hill yet, sir. Okay. You just want to get in on this.
I would just make sure, because you were making a point about
But you're not worried about it. Yeah, and on top of that, you got 2 offensive linemen in Zach Martin and Tyron Smith that both did not play. One has a thigh, one has a back for a left tackle with a back. I'm just pointing these things out.
You are correct,
Now, when you look at it, the problem is for y'all, this particular game, as you know, Skip, is on the road. Okay? It's on the road. You cannot dance around it no matter what Michael Irvin is trying to get you to believe.
Yeah.
I just think you lose that game. I don't think you lose to Detroit at home. If you
have you been watching how they run the football in Detroit?
I've watched how they run it. It's really impressive. And when Jared Goff doesn't turn it over, he looks like the best quarterback in the league.
Did you see what they did to Denver the other night?
I saw what they did to Denver. I certainly saw it. And I saw exactly what Sean Payton did to Russell Wilson because of the situation.
That is correct.
But when you look at it, you're talking, Michael, that they have a chance and a shot in all this.
A great shot.
You got to go 3 games on the road, doggy, to get to where you need to. You hoping and praying like Skip that it lands in Tampa.
Yep.
But what if it lands in New Orleans, inside that dome, with those people that have been up all night long drinking and carrying it into the game? They're going to be turned up.
It could be a problem.
Then you say you're not worried about Philly because you got information that you've been gathering from the time you beat them. Oh, that was at home. I forgot. Information from the time you lost to them that was on the road again. Okay? An L is an L is an L. I don't give a damn, as I keep telling Skip. 173 yards in the 4th quarter to Jalen Hurts 3. Okay. Jalen Hurts didn't play well his last 2 outings. 1 in Seattle and 1 up in prior to that against Dallas. He didn't play well. But I promise you, if you run up against Philadelphia in Philadelphia during the playoffs, on the road, with a healthy Jalen Hurts, with no knee issues, no sickness, no flu, all of that, and you think you're going to go through that, and let's assume you go through that and you smack Philadelphia, you got a rested team that you're going to see in San Francisco. By the way, on the road again in San Francisco, and they're rested because of their bye.
Well,
come on, man. Stop it.
Well, they would have to give them a championship game to get to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be coming off. Yeah, they won't be rested. You see what I mean?
They won't be rested. They won't be rested because they would have played in the divisional game. And I don't know who would get them in the divisional game. But I am still concerned about the San Francisco trip. All of that, because San Francisco has been a problem even prior to this road thing becoming a narrative.
You see what I mean? I said San Francisco became a problem before this road thing became a narrative. A problem is something that's really there. A narrative is something you pretend to be there. I just want
How is it a narrative, Skip? You've lost on the road to these teams.
All right, now for my glass half full scenario. My wishful thinking, if you will. We did go up to New York in our opener, and you discounted all you want. But that team was full loaded from being a playoff team that won a road playoff game a year ago with their starting quarterback and their starting running back intact. We demolished them 40-0 on the road. It happened. I witnessed it. But I'd be the first to tell you, I also witnessed 42-10 at San Francisco, and it was a bad sign. And I witnessed last Sunday 31-10 at Buffalo, and it was a really bad late season sign. I give you that. But to Michael's point, if Baker Mayfield and company do pull it off, we can beat them at Tampa because we beat Tom Brady. I know you say, well, they were a sub-500 team last year that stole the division. This team isn't much, if any, better than that team. Baker's been playing out of his mind, but we can beat that team. And I think you know in your heart of hearts we could beat that team. New Orleans might be a whole nother ball game because of your defense.
I know if you go to Tampa, you will beat Tampa. Tampa's not a good team.
Okay, I got it. But they are in the driver's seat as we speak. And you have a really difficult game. I'm talking about your Saints because it's your nephew, Michael Thomas. You're going to be there with your family in tow. It's going to be a big deal for you and your family, but it's going to be a bigger deal for the Rams. I think the Rams will win this game. I believe that Baker and company can beat Jacksonville on Sunday in Tampa because I'm not even sure if Trevor Lawrence is going to play or not. He's still in concussion protocol, but I still think they could win that game. Then they get you guys. They get New Orleans at Tampa. They could sew this thing up if they can win the next two games, and we're rooting for them because we know we got a shot because that's how it would set up right now for us to go there in the first playoff game if we keep losing football games and we're so far ahead in the wild card right now because we're 10-4.
But even if you beat Tampa, Skip,
okay,
you're still on the road.
Glass half full.
Right.
And now you get a better team.
Do I believe with the information that we gleaned at Philadelphia that we could go win at Philadelphia? Sure I do. You saw it. We had every chance in the fourth quarter. We were an inch off and an inch off. At the goal line and on the out of bounds, we were an inch off. And do I think our team feels like it could go win there? Sure, because we dominated them at our place and we played them close to the wire at their place. Could we go win that? Sure we could. And then I'm doing glass half full. We know that we went to San Francisco last year and held them to 19. And we scored only 12 because our quarterback did not play very well. So what if he plays a little better and our defense can play that well against
played against a quarterback last year, Skip, that played in 9
That is correct.
games up to that point.
Yeah, and he would have been
I think it was 9 up to that point if my math is correct.
He would have gone and won the Super Bowl if he hadn't gotten hurt early at Philadelphia.
I understand that, but when you talk about the 49ers versus the Cowboys a year ago, that dude was a puppy. He wasn't grown up.
I mean, in a lot of ways, he's still a puppy.
But he has grown significantly since that game last year against the Cowboys in that Philadelphia injury. He has grown to the point where he, in many people's eyes, is the favorite to win the MVP.
So that stopped growing? Everybody else stopped growing? Nobody else is grown but him over that span. Okay.
So we go. Do we really want to have this conversation?
It was just a question.
No, but do we really want to have this conversation? Because the leader on your defense has not grown. If you really want to start this conversation, Michael, okay? The defense is supposed to be that's supposed to be the leaders of your team is the defensive side of the ball. They haven't grown. They haven't grown to the point where people starting to send out investigators to find out where certain guys on your defense have been.
true.
They don't need to look like that.
I know we are not sitting up here.
Yes, we are.
I know we are not sitting up here talking about Micah Parsons. I'm just going to, we're going to stop with this here, people on your defense. I just know we're not. A couple games ago, we were talking about Micah Parsons being the only person with Lawrence Taylor do something in a number of years. And now we're saying, I just know we're not talking. I know Michael Parsons hadn't been talking about this right here when he comes on talking and knows he's talking, which I wish he would just shut up and play ball. But I know that's not what you're trying to say, that Michael Parsons hasn't grown, that Michael Parsons hadn't done anything.
The last three,
we cannot be saying that.
I'll focus just on the last 3 games. The last 3 games, 3 tackles, 1 sack, and what else?
And you putting this, the last 3 games, everybody on my team, let's try to put Michael Parsons in a situation, everything is attacking at Michael Parsons. Now, the issue is, what is everybody else doing when all the focus is on Michael Parsons? That's why, when you were the number 1 receiver, Key, you and number 1 receiver, there are responsibilities laid on you that are not laid on other people. Why? You're going to take the heat of the coverage. You're going to expect somebody to step up and make plays. When there are 2-3 guys on you, there's nothing else you can do. Somebody else got to make plays. You did your part. You took 3 men. Somebody else. We got numbers on everybody else. Why are we not winning? That's not only on him. No, I don't play that one. We got to get them other dudes playing also. If I got 3 dudes on 1 dude, I need somebody else to make some plays.
Michael,
and I see that on the team.
It's not all on him. But his name is often mentioned because he is 11 from heaven, and his prediction is in his ceiling is so high, it's untouchable. So, yes, his name is going to be mentioned when things don't go well on your defense.
And he has to understand
when the defense in Kansas City didn't go well, who did they say? Where's Derek Thomas at?
I'm taking that. I'm taking all you're saying,
okay.
Ken, and I'm going to take anything anybody says when I'm not around. But not while I'm here. Not while I'm here. Not while I'm here. And I see this kid, and I see the focus on this kid, and I see the numbers given to this kid. I say somebody else step your butt up and make some plays, and it's not on this kid.
It's not all on him. The reason I even bring it up is because Skip says you held him to 19. If you coming into San Francisco, just so happened, I don't know how it's going to all lay out, but if you beat the Bucs, I'm assuming that's the 5 now goes to...
Well, last year sent us to San Francisco immediately.
So, it would probably... If you got to do the math. See, I said
we ain't got to break it all out, right? We got to break it all out. We're just going to pray for it right now. That's all I can do.
But if you go to San Francisco and based on where your defense is playing, you ain't got a shot or a chance. No matter how much energy you bring to the table, Michael.
Right. And that's why I said, you guys, even that week, it's up to Dak Prescott. I understand. I understand that there's going to be. I said Buffalo game was supposed to be a high-scoring game. I expected Buffalo to put points up. I needed the offense that has been playing out of their minds to match that intensity on the road. They did. They're going to have the same test right here this week.
They are.
This is the National Football League. You can't go to the next grade without graduating, So you're not going to win a Super Bowl if you can't win on the road. And you didn't win on the road. Now you got to go on the road to get to a Super Bowl.
I said that 5 minutes ago.
That's how the NFL plays out.
I tried to get
I'm with that. So I know we're saying the same thing in this sense. So this is the test. Yeah. Here it is. They got to start passing this test. And it's a narrative. It's a narrative. It's not a reality. It's a narrative.
It's a reality. Dude, you played 7 games on the road. You lost 4.
We won.
Hugely.
I can't.
So,
you put 82 points.
And we played 2 of the best teams.
Time out.
2 of the best teams.
Skip, you put 82 points on this New York Giant team. Don't do this to me, Skip.
But listen. Michael can attest to this. No team in the history of professional football has inspired more overreaction than the Dallas Cowboys.
And that's what it is.
We just saw the biggest swing of overreaction probably in the history of pro football.
I don't think it was a big swing.
We crushed Philadelphia, and it's like Super Bowl, here we go. And we got crushed in Buffalo.
Super Bowl, here we go from y'all types.
No, but
not from the country, y'all types.
Okay, but the other side of it is Michael Parsons.
Everybody kept saying, when
you said,
even when you beat Philadelphia, what was the next for me?
Okay.
You passed a certain part of the test. Now the midterms are coming up.
Okay.
And you got to beat Buffalo and Miami to show the rest of the world that you are for real.
All right. So
you
now,
failed to do that, Skip.
Now, the heart, the guts of our team has been called out nationally, and they're getting ridiculed and condemned and completely written off all week long. What are you made of? Your manhood psychologically is about to be tested as you go face a team whose quarterback stood up yesterday, Tua, and told the world, go ahead, condemn me. Go ahead, ridicule me. Go ahead. Tell me I can't play. I don't even care, but I'm keeping receipts. And the coach, as you point out, said 2 days ago, tell us we can't beat a good team because they haven't beaten a team over 500. They're 0-3. Okay?
What's the difference between them and y'all?
Because they're turning it. They're making it us against the world.
Here's the difference between you and them. Y'all going on the road to play them. They at home. They 0-3 on the road against good teams just like y'all are.
Okay, but they're just 0-3 against good teams. And they just lost to Tennessee at home.
0-3 good teams.
But on the road they are losing. Not at home. They lost to Tennessee without Tyreek Hill in the lineup on a consistent basis.
Narrative, they haven't beaten a good team. They haven't beaten a good team with a winning record. The same narrative that we had early on that you got.
Only reason why the narrative. Only reason
they're talking this year right now is because they now are playing the Dallas Cowboys and they know this. Michael. Oh my God! All of these narratives are now coming out that we never had to deal with because it's the Dallas Cowboys. And what Skip just said, you tried to put it on because we always put the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. You got one of the best NFL defenders saying he hadn't grown at all. So where is the hyperbole here? Who's giving up the hyperbole here? Who's giving up that misinformed hype?
Let me ask you this question before I throw it back to Skip, because don't be sitting there smiling.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying,
based on Micah Parsons' first 2 years in the league and what he has done in his first 2 years in the league to where he is today, you getting ready to tell me he has grown?
His first year in the league. Oh, yeah, first year in the league. He wasn't even rushing that much. Now, every time he starts rushing, he has 3 dudes stopping him. That's growth. That's growth.
The things that he was doing in those first couple years to where what he's been doing this year, you call that growth?
Yes,
because
there's a different focus on the other side for Michael Parsons. There's a different focus on the other side for Michael Parsons. We would agree with that,
We'll turn this conversation into a 30-minute Michael Parsons conversation messing with you.
We will.
Wait. Michael Parsons, leave this junk alone. Stop right now. I don't want to hear this, man. Leave all of this alone. Let them talk up here. That's how they make their money. You go get the quarterback. You go get the tackler. That's how you make your money. Right now, that's how you make your money. Don't listen to this, man.
And I'll go right behind him. Don't listen to Michael Irvin. Play football and don't listen to Michael Irvin. That's what you do.
And I'll go right behind that and say, we got to talk about Deion Sanders. Because would you believe Coach Prime just won the portal, won it nationally for the second straight year, but he might lose our guy Jordan Seaton? Yikes. We talk about it next.
The pressure on these young kids, man.
The narrative. Man, if you don't stop.
On these.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.